Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is Javon Judah. I know it's been a while since I made any videos, and there's been a reason behind that. And the only reason is, I want to make sure that the videos that I make are genuine, and I didn't want to be doing it just for, the proper, just to be popular. But I wanted to make sure I had something that was going to actually help you. And I know a lot of y'all brothers and sisters is going through it, in gang stalking, anyone who is experiencing this truly, y'all most definitely is something like a battle each and every day, but you get better at it. But I understand that you're still a human. I'm still a human as well. Even though we have the Father and stuff on our side, a lot of us are maybe still divided on who God is, what name you're going to call him, what it's not about religion at this point. It's just about knowing that there's a spiritual battle going on, and a lot of people don't believe that. So all that they can see is the physical part of the battle, and they don't want to, wait on God. It's hard. It's hard to be somebody who has, that type of mindset. But you have to look and see that the only people that you can say that go through gang stalking is other people that you see on YouTube, or in those type of communities where we call it gang stalking. But these towns, these cities, these areas, these states that are in the United States and all over the world, they openly practice witchcraft. They call it something else nowadays, masonry, Christian church, because I say Christian church because most of them are Masons, or they're in some kind of fraternity or sorority, even if they was in it in college or whatever, AAU basketball, any of that stupid shit. So once they become like an alumni in that stuff, they are like initiated, and a lot of people start practicing the craft that way. And it's like in your face. If your pastor or whatever in your church is part of that stuff, they might not never tell you that, because some of them like to keep it a secret, and some people they wear it boldly on their license plate. They got the rings on, blah blah blah. They'll let you know. You'll see stars on their house. You'll see birds on their house. These are the stars are pentagrams. Um, Basically they don't worship the God of the Bible, but they want you to believe that, so they can whatever they're suggesting to you in the hive mind. If you are not grounded in the scriptures or praying to the Father, to, to know Him for yourself, to know how He sounds and His works versus the devil, you can be deceived. Because these are people who, in society around each other, before you wake up, or even when you do wake up, like I said, they're sitting right in the so-called church. So you have to know that the church is not the building more than it's God's people. But it's many scriptures that cover that. That's why I choose to believe in the Holy Scriptures, because it tells you everybody that hollers Lord, Lord will not enter the kingdom of heaven. It's already hard enough for us who are trying, who have been set up, excuse me, who have been set apart. But the reason why we are being set apart and everything is, and you are where you are, and there's not many people around you, is because God don't need a whole lot of, you don't need a whole gang. The only thing that roll in packs like that are demons. The the legion demon, for one. That's how demons operate. They operate in groups. Now, like I said, man, take from this what you can to use it for yourself. I want y'all to be able to what I'm saying, to not be taken by this, to not be set back. The worst thing that you can do is try to do anything that they say to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they're trying to stop you and take your blessings from you. That They want to control where you live, where you work, um, who you can date. Now, these is all things that they didn't done to me. And it being spiritual is why they can follow you everywhere, and the human part is what's going to make it break down, is because they do not worship God. God is long suffering. So yes, he's long suffering with them too. Just like we have to be thankful that he was long suffering with us. Now we're totally different from these beings. It's because we can't be manipulated, and that's how they know you. They actually think that their power and strength come from being in the group. And I know y'all see people in the group that you wish you can save, that you wish that you see potential in, basically, that they might be able to wake up. So you never write nobody off, but you have to call a spade a spade. You have to call a snake a snake. It gets to the point where you have to cut them off from you emotionally. Because if you don't, that's what cause you to be triggered by their tactics. And Satan is the accuser of the brethren. He that stands before God day and he's bound. He's bound. But they accuse of the brother and the sister. And that's one of their main tactics, is to accuse you of whatever, to get under your skin, to make you feel, if they can make you feel like they are the authority over your life instead of God, man, it's like they, I don't know if they drawing power from it or not, but that is their assignment. But your assignment is to be purified. And this is why people don't choose to serve God right away. And we won't really choose to serve God. He picks us for this. Because if every preacher that went to theologian school was actually in it just for God, they wouldn't have to go to theologian school if it was just that easy. That means that they would experience what we experience. But we are experiencing something, us brothers and sisters in this so-called targeted individuals, we are experiencing something, spiritual warfare, on a level that a lot of them don't get to experience. So that should let you know right there how rare you are. You don't know another person going through it besides on YouTube. That's the only other people, y'all are the only other people that I've ever heard this happening to. And if it wasn't for YouTube, that God most stuff is in control, because I don't know no one else that has been attacked like that. Now that the Holy Spirit is like working and has grown in me, I remember certain people that they drove away, or they drove tried to alienate in some kind of way, and they kind of like folded or assimilated into the hive mind. They took the Kool-Aid, or they became part of the alienation, or they let the demons, they took the oath. Now the oaths from these fraternities and stuff like that, which you need to renounce in a certain kind of way, and reject in a certain kind of way, because people in your family have been dealing with these entities that are not God from the Bible before you was even born. So you have to basically pray and let God of the Bible, God Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Kakadash, let him know that you don't want no parts of that, because it's causing a curse upon you. And you don't want it to curse your bloodline going ahead like that. That's why you see generational curses and stuff like that. Some people will prosper, look like they prospering, but their kids don't. So much to go into it. I don't want to hit it all on one video, but and I'll make sure that I start hitting it more, and elaborating a little bit further. But I need y'all to know that, man, please don't think it's carnal. I done got to the point now. where, and I done prayed about it. Yeah, and God know, He know you. You know, He knows my limits. And man, some some of them actually get the part of me that be like, man, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna do shit. You know, and or whatever, because you know they love to threaten you and whatever to get you. But then as soon as they do that, they get on the phone and manipulate somebody else behind the scenes because it's a group thing. And they make them believe like, oh, yo, he's talking shit or whatever. Bruh, you're wherever you are, talking shit with a baby in your hand, the whole time trying to provoke me. Now, what righteous person, you know, Bible, whatever religion you in, what righteous person who is doing right, pays people, goes out here and slanders people's name and has to gather a group to make someone look bad. You know what I'm saying? That's not nothing of God. Y'all have to know that. That's not God. That ain't how He do stuff. Why would He have to do stuff when God is omnipresent, which means He's everywhere. Okay? Even though it looked like stuff is going on, He's still everywhere. He's beholding that because the angels are beholding it. But like I said earlier, He's long suffering because He wants people to repent and He wants people to be able to. That's how we were saved. That's how I was saved. Is because He had patience. He has a lot of patience, and He's teaching you to do that because when you have His Spirit, when you have the Spirit of Yahushua, the Spirit of Christ upon you, you have to learn patience. There was times in the Bible where even though He was being accused of this and that, where He didn't say anything. They try to make like that's your weakness. That's like really your strongest. That's a strong thing. Is when you can be accused and people coming at you this way and that way, and even though He was innocent, He wouldn't speak up for Himself. He didn't try to defend Himself. Why would you spend your time trying to drop Bible verses on someone who don't want it, you know, and will manipulate the Bible to make you look bad? You know what I'm saying? They didn't already decided in the hive mind what they was going to do. You know, a lot of them are married to people they don't want to fucking be married to. I mean, all types of crap, man. Like I said, these are the same entities that want you to be married, and so they can control you. It's all about control, and when you're not like that, see, my fault, the one control me. I'm a slave to God. I'm a slave to Yahweh, the one of the Bible, and none else, because He's not the God of these other books. It's the Holy One of Israel is totally set apart, just like I'm totally set apart. He's not the He is the Father and the main God that there ever is. The rest of these nations and stuff like that who worship something, they worship something and it has power. And it can be arguably called a God, but they are His children. They are arguably still called His children. So I'll be back.